Welcome to the NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. It all comes down to this in Durham. Arizona trying to regroup after a back-and-forth game that saw them fall by 2 runs to the Duke Blue Devils, who had their backs against the wall. 6 lead changes in the first matchup between these two today, but it's Game 7 for Marissa Young and Caitlin Lowe. Well, here's how we are trying to reach Supers. It'll be the winner from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and South Florida matching up in that regional final to try and meet the winner of this game right now. Alongside Jenny Dalton-Hill, I am Chucky Kemp. It all comes down to this one single game. For these seniors, it could be the end. For the winning side, you move on. Yeah,
winner take all in this one. So the emotions are at a high on both sides, and Duke has all the momentum heading into this game.
If you asked Marissa Young, pick 2 hitters in the country who you want to lead off, she would pick her 2 seniors, Deanna Jennings and Amina Vega.
And why wouldn't she? They've been swinging it so well at the top of the lineup. Jennings has been able to manufacture base hits, and Vega has been able to bring a ton of power. But don't forget, Jennings is swinging with a ton of power too. It was a huge home run blast for her in the last game. And then to be able to continue to put the ball in play, a double as well, and Vega putting the ball in to be able to score Jennings. Those 2 at the top have been so hard to beat.
Hard to defend Arizona's speedsters at the top. This has been a storyline here, just creating chaos for Duke's defense.
Well, and it's all about making sure that the speed continues to play. So with this, Reagan Shockey and Serenity Trice at the top, and also Taylor Beal able to use short game, create havoc on the base pass, and you're seeing that speed is creating errors for Duke.
It is a rubber match. It is a Game 7 in a regional final in Durham. The fans enjoying a beautiful day. Somebody is off to Supers next. Ready for first pitch in Durham between the Wildcats and the Blue Devils. One last time at Smith Family Stadium, likely for Duke this season, win or lose. Here's the lineup Arizona sends to the plate, brought to you by Capital One. Sydney Stewart looking to get going. 2 hits in 9 at-bats, a walk as well, but no extra base hits, no RBIs yet.
They rely on her power, and in this regional, it has not shown up. Every pitcher has circled her name, trying to prevent her from being the difference maker in this lineup.
Duke made it real simple. Larissa Jaquez is dealing right now. The junior from Eagle Pass, Texas, the Incarnate Word transfer, has been untouchable this weekend. We just saw her go 4 innings of 1-hit ball, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, and so guess who gets the ball? It's Jaquez.
I love this nod by Marissa Young, going back to the hot hand in the circle.
Sometimes players make decisions really easy for coaches, and Certainly Marissa Young, in the back of her mind, had to be thinking about Cassidy Kerr. Do you go back to the senior who's been there time and time again, and we will likely see her at some point?
I think she is definitely going to be in the mix of conversations, but you can't go away from what has been working, and Jaquez has been able to do such a good job of keeping these Arizona bats off balance, not squaring up a ton of balls, and now you're going to see a strike zone back behind the plate that has a little bit of a higher strike zone as well.
See the defense, Amina Vega right next to Jaquez as they try to defend Reagan Shockey, who was kind of banged up in that first game, sliding into second base, her shoulder making contact with the knee of Deanna Jennings. She was actually pinch hit for one time, but then re-entered as a runner and stayed in the rest of the way. 1-2. Strike three looking.
You and I are talking about it before the game, Chucky, about who should Duke go back to in the circle. You and I both agreed that Jaquez was absolutely rolling at the end of that last game. To be able to go back to the hot hand, so important, because she right now is feeling this strike zone.
One up, one down. Serenity Trice watches ball one. The Iowa State transfer had struggled in the 6 games prior to this regional. Started to get it going, and you just see she's such a problem for defenses with great speed. Takes strike one.
Trice as well, a ton of speed at the top of the lineup, typically likes to have Shockey on base to disrupt the left side of the defense as they try to hold on a runner who is always trying to steal.
Strike two. The Arizona coaching staff, Lauren Lappin and Caitlin Lowe, are beside themselves at a couple of these strike calls. Both of them came down the line in third and first base to voice their displeasure with the home plate umpire, Scott Mayer. Trice, base hit.
And Chucky, I think sometimes a coaching staff will do things to fire up their dugout and fire up their batter. So with Lappin and Lowe coming in and yelling at the umpire, I think that was just more fuel for Serenity Trice in the box to be aggressive on pitches close to the zone.
Trice on first for Stewart. It is in the dirt, picked off the ground by Kyrie Rodriguez to keep Trice at first base. Serenity Trice has 6 hits now in this tournament. Big swing by Stewart, missed it, but that just felt like a more natural swing. She'd been so off balance, and there at least kind of stayed grounded.
There was intent behind that swing, where we've seen her off balance, out of her legs in the last couple of plate appearances. And so for Stewart to get a swing off like that, you know that she's feeling a little bit better. Just asking for clarification if that was off of a tipped ball or if that was off of the swing, and the umpire said it was tipped. It was a strike either way.
Strike two.
They've been exploiting the outside part of the plate for Stewart. Will they challenge her inside, which is more of a power zone for the big hitter?
Fights that pitch off to stay alive.
I think it's really easy as a hitter to start seeing a zone clearly, and in this at bat, they just continue to go outside, outside. The way you get Stewart off balance here is to jam her up under her hands.
That is in on the hands, and she sent that well beyond the wall, but way foul.
Well, and expecting the ball outside, she's been diving in with that front foot to try to go the other way with it. So I think going in on her hands, not being afraid to exploit that inside corner, really good decision by Jaquez.
1 on, 1 out, top of the first, game 7 of this regional final. Slow roller to Oakland, trying to go to second, and they do get the lead runner.
Pulling an outside pitch. Pretty easy ground ball to the shortstop, Oakland, to get the lead runner and take the threat with speed off the bases.
Two away for the fourth-year starter and senior Taylor Beal. Third year as the full-time starter at shortstop. She was first team All Big 12 and the Big 12 Scholar Athlete Award winner this year. Grew up an Arizona fan, watching her aunt play and win 2 national championships there as she takes the first 2 pitches and is ahead 2-0.
Has taken her offense a lot more seriously this season, knowing that in her senior campaign, she was going to have to do a whole lot more than just play a solid shortstop.
Off the end of the bat, Vega retreats and makes the catch. It's a clean first inning for Larissa Jaquez, who is starring in this regional this weekend. Duke Bats coming up. Nothing doing for the Wildcats in the top of the first. Duke comes to the plate, fresh off 10 hits and 8 runs in the first game of the day. Deanna Jennings leads it off. Amina Vega in this lineup presented by Capital One. Vega, second in Duke history, 1 shy of tying Anna Gold's record, 2 from breaking.
And when you watch the way this top of the lineup has been showing up in this regional, they are not done playing, and they have been the difference in these ball games here with their backs against the wall.
They will face the same pitcher they have faced in all 3 matchups to start, Jalen Adams, who earlier today went 2 innings, gave up 5 hits and 3 earned runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts. We talked about it, though, off air. I think the leash will be a little bit longer with Jalen in this one.
You can anticipate that Jalen Adams will go as far as she can in this game, knowing that if it is a loss, her career is over.
She has wins this year over 5 teams that are currently alive and also in the driver's seat in their regionals right now. Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Arizona State, LSU, and Oklahoma State are some of the teams Jalen Adams has beat in the circle this year.
And she goes with a ton of different pitches. However, we have not seen her rack up strikeouts in this regional, mid-60s, and really relies on that backdoor curve and rise to get these hitters.
There's the backdoor curve right there for strike 1.
And she flashes that changeup sparingly, needs to throw it with conviction to the corner to keep these hitters off balance. It is just so hard to go against these top hitters in the lineup for Duke.
Bunt is down, Sniffen picks it up. The throw to first off the helmet of Jennings. Trice had her arm ran through there, and she's a little bit shaken up as well. Jennings is on second.
Anytime you have speed at the plate and they put the ball in play with short game, it is so important to get on it quick. And over there at third base, Jenna Sniffen read it so well. Bare hand and the throw, but the throw leads the second baseman up the line. Serenity Trice trying to get there. A little contact made between Jennings and Trice. Hits the helmet of Deanna Jennings, and so aggressive, gets to second base, puts herself in scoring position.
Serenity Trice is talking to the trainer right now. She's pointing to her finger. Her glove got taken off. Of course, inadvertently, she was reaching out into the runner's lane, so Deanna Jennings had nowhere to go. But she is having her finger taped right now. And I did see her kind of look down toward Caitlin Lowe in the front of the dugout and say, no, I'm good. Just got to get something fixed here.
Well, and it is on her glove hand, not her throwing hand. Deanna Jennings had to get into the runner's lane. She gets there at the last minute, but the ball is ricocheted off her helmet already at that point.
Here is Amina Vega. Takes strike one on the off-speed pitch at 53 miles per hour. Vega 2 for 4 in the first game today. The home run and drove in 3. Jalen Adams has been the ace of the staff all 4 years in college. 3 at Iowa, and now in her lone season at Arizona, she has been the big dog again. Misses outside ball 2.
Through almost 200 innings a season ago as a Hawkeye. Led their staff in ERA, wins, strikeouts, innings pitched.
Vega back to Adams, who throws to third, and safe at third. Sniffen kind of pulled off of it. And Jennings, the runners are kind of playing games on the base paths right now with Adams, who throws to second. Now here comes Jennings creeping down the line. The throw to first, not in time. Oh, no, she's out. They called her out at first. I think this will definitely get reviewed. Marissa Young has never hopped out of the dugout quicker.
Yeah, instead of asking to go to review right away, Marissa Young is asking for the conversation to happen between the umpires first to see if there is anything that they can get to before needing to take this play to review. The first thing that they're going to probably talk about is over at third base. Knowing that the play at third base happened first, I'm guessing that Caitlin Lowe has the first argument in this conversation. So a heads-up play by Jalen Adams to deliver the ball over to third base to try to get Deanna Jennings. I think that's a great call by the umpire over there at third, because the foot does get in before the tag is applied, but as Jennings comes off the bag, the tag has already been taken off of Jennings. And so then you're looking at the play at first base. Is the tag able to be applied before the tag is made? It is not. And so I think we're gonna see, after all of these challenges have taken place, I think you're gonna see Duke safe on the corners.
The question Caitlin Lowe and Lauren Lappin are asking right now is about the runners at the bases as well, because they got the ball back to the circle, and then Jennings kind of came off third, and Vega and her were playing a little games with Arizona, trying to create some problems on the base path. So I think the argument Caitlin Lowe has is, why were they not back on the base?
Well, and as soon as the ball comes into the circle, the ball's not in the circle yet. So with the ball not in the circle, there is nothing that the runners have to do. Now the ball is in the circle, but now the pitcher has it. The runner can be released from their direction if a fake is made toward any base. A fake was made, which gave Vega the chance to change direction. So there's a lot going on in that play to unpack. However, I think both runners actually played that correctly, not changing direction until Adams in the circle, the pitcher with the ball in the circle, faked to a bag, which then allowed them to change direction.
Our first innings have been eventful today.
Yeah, if you tuned in late to the first elimination game here today, you missed a lot of things to unpack. Looks as though they're looking at some rules to make sure that they get this one right on the field. This is a huge play in this moment right now because it will dictate whether this inning moves on without 2 outs or if it moves forward with runners on the corners.
See if we can hear something from our crew. Marissa Young is now pointing at first, wants to get some clarification on what the ruling is on that base. It was out on the field, but the umpires have talked a lot, so we're not sure if maybe something's changed over there already. We know Amina Vega is safe. We just don't know if they're going to have to challenge it or not. So this is going to take very few seconds from Pittsburgh, as long as they're not currently reviewing something else. But Amina Vega is going to be on first. It's going to be first and third with nobody out in the bottom of the first inning.
And I think the argument of Caitlin Lowe and why she is so frustrated is because of the way that the call was made in terms of getting the ball back to the circle. And we have the advantage of going back and looking at it multiple times. She has to review it in her mind in real time. And she thought that there was no attempt made or a fake throw made by Adams in the circle, which would not have released the runners from their direction. And so, honestly, both runners should be out in that situation. But I think there was a little bit of a fake throw by Adams, which released the runners from their forward movement. And I think in this situation, the tag is applied so late over at first base that you're going to see she is safe as well.
Trying to figure out the mic for Scott Mayer, the home plate umpire and the crew chief.
I will. I've been hitting you.
Here's the call.
After further review, the call at first base has been changed to a safe. Duke retains their challenge.
So only one challenge was executed in that. Both coaches had asked for umpires to come together and have conversations, but because the call was changed in Duke's request for review, they retained their challenge. Both schools still have 2 challenges remaining.
Jennings on third, Vega on first for Jessica Oakland. Takes ball 1 high. First pitch, Jalen Adams is thrown in a few minutes. Probably about 5 minutes, honestly.
Well, I think Arizona would have challenged the look-back rule, but it is not a reviewable play, so they only had the ability to have the umpires come together and have a discussion for that one.
Strike 1 to Oakland, catches the top of the zone for Adams, 1-1. Stewart held that for a while, trying to get that call. 2-1 count, though, to Oakland. It's a big first inning. They did not get the out on that attempted throw to third base. And really, when you're playing Duke, the outs are so valuable. There's just Such little room for error as Adams misses on the inside corner, that time 3-1. In the air to center, long run for Shockey, makes the catch. It's gonna score 1, and Duke strikes first.
Executed perfectly by Jess Oakland at the plate. While you love to have the ball leave the park, a deep fly ball is all you needed for Deanna Jennings to advance down the line. Duke gets on the board first with that sac fly.
One out for Tyrena Jones, the home run and RBI queen in Duke's single season history. Didn't get all of that into foul territory. Duke gave it a good look. Strike 1. Tyrena spent 4 years at Purdue. Didn't play last year, missed it all with injury. She was a 3-year starter there. Last full season in 2024, hit .241 with 5 home runs. She got 22 this season. Back to Adams, can they turn 2? Trice dropped it! And it's Arizona defensive miscues costing them in this first inning.
And knowing the way that Arizona has been able to turn double plays this year, you thought that was a chance to maybe see them get out of this inning. But as a second baseman coming across looking to make the double play, Trice takes her eye off of the ball before she secures it in her mitt, is already trying to make the next play before getting the out at second.
Arizona could be out of this inning right now. Instead, there's still just 1 out and 2 on as they try to take a deep breath in the circle.
Was just trying to find a way to get the momentum back in their favor. Duke continuing to just put pressure on the defense. This has been a really awkward first inning.
Jalen Adams, he's not throwing a lot of pitches. It's been a long half inning. She's only thrown 14 pitches. Now facing Layla Lamar. Ball 1 outside.
And I think what I'm looking for right now is the senior leadership to step forward and bring this defense together. It's a nice spot outside corner, a little bit high, but we've seen that pitch be pretty close to a strike throughout the beginning of this game.
Lamar swings through pitch number 2, 1-1 count. These two teams trying to join a growing list of programs who have already punched their tickets to next weekend in Super Regionals.
It's in moments like these that you have to find who will lead this team from within. It's one thing to have a coach tell you what to do. It's another to be player-led. And right now, Arizona needs to find that one player that can get this team back on track.
Bounced in by Adams, 3-1. Lamar 1 for 3 with a walk in the first game today. Takes strike 2 as Lamar has to pick the bat back up and come back to the plate. Big pitch from Adams. Chopper back to the pitcher, goes to first, and they have 2 outs.
And in that situation, I think that had the potential to be ball 4. However, Lamar didn't want to leave it up to the umpire behind the plate.
KK Mathis with a pair of hits in this on the day. 2 for 4 in game 1 with a run scored. Duke was just 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position earlier, but it helps when you're just hitting the ball over the wall. Ball 1 low.
In this situation, Duke needs to keep this inning going, capitalize on the momentum that is in their dugout.
And on the flip side, if the Wildcats can get out of this having only given up 1, it probably feels like a win after some miscues defensively.
Most definitely. Those miscues have typically happened to Duke in the first inning. But flipping the script, Arizona, those hiccups in this inning have allowed Duke in front.
Adams is struggling seemingly to get a grip on the ball right now. Trying to compose herself against KK Mathis. 3-0 pitch. Strike 1, Mathis back-to-back Duke hitters who have had to regain possession of the bat thinking they had walked.
Well, and in the last pitch, Jalen Adams had to get back onto the pitching rubber quickly because she had taken so much time in between pitches that the pitch clock continued to wind down.
That is ball 4.
And right now, it just looks like Jalen Adams is out of rhythm in the circle out there. She's pacing more than normal. And she has to be careful against this next hitter. Gabby Shattuck has been swinging with authority. She's got 3 home runs in this regional, and she's been able to spray her power all over the field.
Shattuck has been an automatic in the starting lineup in the latter half of this season. Takes ball 1 high from Adams.
And there's nowhere to put her, Chucky. They have to throw to the big swinging freshman.
From New Jersey, has made 13 straight starts in this Duke lineup. And she is ahead in the count, 2-0. Over 4 this year with bases loaded. What a time to get your first hit. Strike 1. Shattuck, hard hit ball smothered at third by Sniffen to end the inning. And Arizona gets out of it with minimal damage.
We've seen defense show up for Arizona, but there were miscues in that inning to allow Duke to get on top. This hard hit shot right at Sniffen, smothered to be able to get him out of the inning.
1-0 after an eventful first inning here in Durham. Game 7 winner goes to Super Regionals. Likely will be going to Fayetteville. Already a few tickets punched. Texas, Florida, Georgia. So the host sites 3 for 3. We do know there's one that won't be moving on. Oregon was eliminated last night, but it's a good start for the old home teams.
I was shocked to see Lindsey Grine out of the starting lineup with an eye infection, so she was unable to pitch in the postseason. And with that, Oregon's chances of moving on became slim and could not do so at home.
Arkansas up 6. They are 3 outs away from hosting the winner of this one next weekend. Tennessee is up 2 on Virginia, just a couple innings away from moving on. And Florida State is down a run in Tallahassee to UCF in Game 7. And how about Arizona State leading Texas A&M 5-1. The Aggies have to win twice today, and they're down 4 in the third. Grace Jenkins leads it off for Arizona, takes ball 1 outside. 1-1 count here to the power hitting Jenkins, who was an All-American catcher at UConn, hit .432 with 16 doubles, 16 home runs last year. Lifts this to center. It's kind of off the end of the bat, and there's 1 out.
Those long outs, loud outs can sometimes get the crowd going, but more than anything, as a defense, you're like, no big deal. High fly ball, easy out. I will say, this time of day, the ball out to right field and to the right side of the field in the air is where you're going to see the issues happen if the ball goes in the sun.
Telle Jennings at the plate. 0 for 4 in Game 1 today. Made her mark yesterday in the win over Duke with a 2-run home run and a double. We talked to her after the game, said, this is my first interview, it's first time doing this.
She said, my sister might know how to do this, but it's my first time on the headset.
Older sister Tiare had one of the best collegiate careers in history. 4 national championships for Patty Gasso at Oklahoma, part of that unreal senior class they had just a couple seasons ago. (2-1) to Telle.
Not a lot of pull side power. Because of that, the outfield is going to play her a little bit shifted off to the left.
Three and 2.
And sometimes as a hitter, what you need to do is check out the outfield, because they're going to shift into a position to help you understand where the pitcher is trying to throw you. So I would anticipate this ball being outside.
Off the handle, Jones gave it a look in foul territory. Bounced in. Jennings is on with 1 out.
Being able to take your walk this time of year is so important as well. Base runners are just critical to be able to disrupt a defense. By having a runner on base, it moves a defense out of their original positioning. And so I would anticipate that Jess Oakland, the shortstop, will play a little bit more up the middle to defend Sniffen, which opens up the 5-6 hole.
See Layla Lamar out in right field retreating to her position. She just came in. I think her pitch comm was not working on her wrist, so she switched it out. And you see her look at it there so she can see which pitch is coming.
I think, and that's the most important part of this, is knowing which pitch is coming to the catcher so that you can shift and anticipate defensively, knowing the zone that the pitch is coming to.
0-2 count for Jenna Sniffen. Fights that pitch off outside. Low ball one. Sniffen trying to get back into this at bat. You start to take that deep breath between pitches. Larissa Jaquez has given up just 4 hits and 8 1/3 in her 3 appearances this weekend. Got Sniffen out in front. Strikeout number 6 of the weekend for Jaquez.
That's just dirty to be able to pull the string like that. It's the spin. That tight spin fools the eye of the hitter, thinking that it's coming in with a little bit more velocity, but pulling the string, big strikeout, 2nd of the game for Jaquez.
Slapped up the middle. Oakland will take the out at first, and that will do it for the top of the 2nd. Another clean inning for Larissa Jaquez. She is dealing in Durham. One 0 Duke over Arizona, bottom of the 2nd, last game of the day. Fans still enjoying themselves in the shade beyond the wall. That is a dangerous spot, if I'm being honest. We saw Deanna Jennings put one up there as we look at the Fayetteville Regional. Arkansas just walked it off 3-0 this weekend, all by run rule.
I think you're right. I think out there in the outfield, they are in danger. Deanna Jennings will be the 3rd batter in this inning. So we might need to give them a heads up that they're vulnerable.
Our graphics producer, Will Black, he's all over it, updating those regionals and tickets punched. So that is number 4 of the 16 who will advance to Supers. 8-9-1 for Duke here in the 2nd. Kyrie Rodriguez leads things off. Kyrie, did she again? Yes, she did! Kyrie Rodriguez swinging a red-hot bat.
She did not start this regional behind the plate, but has gotten these late starts here at the end of the regionals, and with that, another home run. Had a home run in the last game, big 2-run shot, and then starts off the 2nd inning here, another home run. She has 3 home runs in this regional.
She had 5 home runs entering the regional, and then you said it, 3 solo shots this weekend to bring her total to 8. She didn't start the opener behind the plate. Gabby Shattuck did, but they like Kyrie behind the plate defensively. So in game 2 of the weekend against Arizona, they went to that, and that's been the recipe. Shattuck at the DP, Rodriguez behind the plate, and she brought the bat with her.
But I think more than anything, it's just giving Kyrie Rodriguez, the redshirt junior, the one that has maybe a little bit more composure behind the plate to be able to be defensively what they need, the chance to support the pitching staff. And her bat has now shown up here in the postseason.
Jada Baker gets the start over at first base in this game. Was really good defensively in the first win of the day. Takes strike 1.
He takes so long to say it.
Inside, ball 4.
Second walk of the day by Jalen Adams, and that's a tough one because you want to get as many outs as possible before you flip this lineup over to the top that has just been so good in their senior campaign.
Really tough spot for the senior Adams. The bullpen is working out there. We've seen Janae Berry and Riley Holder today. This is it, though.
Those are the next trusted arms that they will go to. I don't anticipate seeing Sarah Wright up in the bullpen with the intention of putting her in this ball game. We've seen all 3 of the pitchers that Arizona likes to throw. But we also mentioned it earlier in this game, Chucky, that the ball will stay in the hands of Jalen Adams as long as possible in this elimination game.
Now she gets to the top of this order with Deanna Jennings and Amina Vega licking their chops. 15 combined hits, 3 home runs, 18 combined runs provided in some way as Jennings tries to lay down the bunt. This is one of those innings that could define this game.
Well, you're just at a part in the lineup that is so powerful, but also quick. A lot of base running savvy in the 9-1-2 spots for Duke.
Into left center field, long run, it gets down. The runner's trying to advance. Baker's into third, it's a double for Jennings. Duke is feeling it.
The way that Baker's been able to run the bases during her career, she is not afraid to push and challenge a defense, especially outfield arms. Jennings coming away with a hit going the other way. She's done that already today, exploiting that left center gap. And it's a good throw coming in, but because it's made by the left fielder, her momentum not really behind that throw. Jennings dancing her way into another double.
Arizona is going to make a change. Deanna Jennings now 11 for 16 on the weekend. It'll be the freshman Riley Holder in a tough spot, 2 on, nobody out. From senior to freshman, Riley Holder, the Texas native, in the circle. We saw her in game 1 today. 2 2/3, did a nice job. 2 hits, 2 runs. Only one of them was earned. It's a big spot, though. You got to halt this right now, or Duke could put up a massive number.
Well, you're coming up against the toughest part of this Duke lineup. It'll be Riley Holder's 3rd appearance here in the postseason. All in relief. They like to go to her after Adams. Adams actually has gotten all 4 starts here in the postseason. And so in the circle, you're going to see Riley Holder throwing with a little bit more velocity and likes to use that drop and screw down in the zone. Needs to locate that changeup, but typically only throws that pitch when she's ahead in the count.
She's been put in some tough spots in her true freshman season, approaching the 100 innings pitched mark as their 2nd most used arm on a staff that has just 4 options. You mentioned the tough part in the order. The next 4 batters have hit 17, 15, 22, and 14 home runs this year. Amina Vega first. Takes ball 1.
Five hitters in this lineup with double-digit home runs. 4 of them hit in a row right here in this part of the lineup.
Two-0 count to Vega, and with that Arkansas result, it effectively makes this the last time these Duke seniors will play on this field. Vega and Jennings' names will forever be on that wall in left field as All-Americans. They will be at the top of some of the biggest columns in the record book for a long, long time. Takes strike 2.
You asked me at the start of this regional, Chucky, if I remembered the last time I played on my field in college. And the answer is no, because in this moment, if that's what you're thinking about, your attention is not in the right spot. So being in the moment is way more important than feeling the emotion of maybe this being the last time you play at home.
A 3-2 count against the freshman Riley Holder for Amina Vega. Just stays alive.
I think it's important to recognize where the defense is playing Vega right now. She has a ton of power and has been able to punch this ball into the outfield, but with the runner at 3rd base, the infield is actually playing very shallow to try to prevent that run from scoring over there at 3rd.
Another full count delivery from Holder. And another foul ball. This Duke lineup is just relentless. Very rarely are you going to get an easy out against anyone in this order, but certainly Jennings and Vega will exhaust you in the circle.
It's all about making this play right here at the plate. Nobody out. Keep those runs from scoring.
Vega waits on the off speed. This is going to be plenty deep enough. Shockey throws to 3rd wisely as Duke takes a 3-0 lead.
Off the bat, I thought she got jammed up, that was going to be a pretty shallow fly ball, but the way that ball continued to carry deep enough to allow the advancement and get a sac fly, another run on the board, but a good throw by Shockey prevents any movement by Jennings to get to 3rd.
Jess Oakland had a sac fly her first trip to the plate. Strike 1. Oakland also homered in game 1 today, her 15th of the season. It's 5:22 with runners in scoring position. Ground ball left side. Sniffen looks Jennings back and makes the out to throw to third, and they got her. Another double play for Arizona, number 44 of the season.
Defense is keeping Arizona in this one, but are they going to be able to get their bats awake enough to get some runs on the board? Great job by Sniffen to come across to Escobar, throw back to the shortstop Beal to get out of the inning.
Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. It is a hot one in Durham. Everybody trying to stay cool any way they can. 90 degrees, sunny skies, few clouds out there, but overall a fantastic day. The temperatures have been trending up. That right there is the AUSL Rookie of the Year and former Duke star Anna Gold, who will play with the Carolina Blaze, which feels fitting right now. The ice on her head, trying to cool off. Duke lays down the bunt, and Rodriguez continues a fantastic weekend, both offensively and defensively.
So impressed with the way that she continues to defend back here behind the dish. Gets out of her legs so quickly and comes away with a beautiful throw over there to Vega, covering up at first base.
Strike one on the first pitch to Reagan Shockey, back to the top of the Arizona order. Shockey struck out looking her first time up. Ground ball past Vega, who was playing their foot basically on the pitcher's circle. A one-out single.
And when you play that far in, you take away your ability to move laterally very much. And with the split grip of Shockey, she's trying to place that ball right between the pitcher and the second baseman, challenging her right up in her grill.
Vega backs up a little bit, kind of into the baseline now for Trice, but the corners are all over the Arizona slapper.
She's been underneath the ball throughout this entire regional, so being on top is important, but the speed over at first base actually affects the defense, and it opens up the 5-6 hole.
Bounced in, Rodriguez blocked it up. Shockey almost went, would have been there, but didn't want to take a chance.
Well, it's all about reading that dirt ball. And as soon as you see a catcher make the shin guards go down towards the dirt, it takes an additional step, or you should take an additional step as a base runner, especially with the speed of Shockey.
Trice right side, Vega bobbles it, kicks it, and Trice is on.
A lot going on over on the right side of the field. You know that there's speed coming down the line. You've also got a runner in front of you as you try to make that play. Difficult to have lateral movement, gets it off of the heel of the glove, which makes it a difficult play to make. As she kicks it around, though, she does a really good job of keeping it near her so that Shockey cannot take another base advancement.
Those will go down as back-to-back singles for the top of this Arizona order. Duke trying to settle in. It's another chance for Sid Stewart.
Well, and I think the issue right now is the defense does have to play shallow to try to take advantage of a ball hit on the ground, but there's just so much speed that it creates some disconnect defensively as you have to play clean and quick to get those outs.
Sydney Stewart last year in Tucson had some momentous swings. You see what she did this year in the Big 12 Conference, one of the best hitters. She was the Big 12 Player of the Year. She's 2 for 10 this weekend with a walk. Takes strike one, 1-1 count.
In conference play games, Sid Stewart led the Big 12 in at least 5 offensive categories. It's been here at the end of the year that we've seen pitchers really dance around her, and she's not been able to hit the long ball.
Stewart drives it foul off the top of the wall.
I think that's the best contact we've seen Stewart have, close to being a playable ball. She's been able to put a charge in a lot of pitches that have gone really far foul, but so far, being able to throw on the corners has been in the pitcher's favor, and Sid Stewart has not been able to hit the long ball in this regional.
Can Jaquez get her again? 1-2. Ground ball, Oakland, and the flip to second in time. 2 outs. Exactly how Stewart reached the first time on a fielder's choice to Oakland. Two outs with the tying run at the plate in Taylor Beal. First pitch swinging, popped up, long run for Jones, who can't quite track it down.
That was going to be a difficult play, even if she was able to get there. It would have been an over-the-shoulder catch, a highlight reel play for sure. But with Arizona threatening at third base, you're always looking for a way to get out of the inning without a ball put in fair play.
Jaquez looking for 3 scoreless to start this game.
With runners at first and third, what you're looking for is Arizona going to do something to try to draw a throw, create some defensive miscues. They've been able to speed up the defense of Duke and create chaos.
Beal takes that pitch for strike 2 that was a little bit taken off of it, 52 miles an hour.
And with less than 2 strikes, it is the right take. However, that ball sat middle of the plate in a very hittable zone.
Now 1-2 for Jaquez. Driven right to Vega. Big fist pump from Larissa Jaquez, who is dealing 3 scoreless for the junior.
Getting out of a jam, gives a good pitch to Taylor Beal. Happy about the play of the second baseman to get her out of it.
Duke up 3-0 on Arizona in Game 7 of this regional final. Bottom of the third, we're joined by Arizona head coach Caitlin Lowe. Coach, pretty simple, down to your final 4 innings of the season, guaranteed here. What do you tell this team?
Well, we're settling into our at-bats and we're passing the bat. And I think, you know, we're getting runners on base right now, and now it's about the timely hit.
Well, and more than anything, Coach Candrea always taught both of us that it's about the timely hit this time of year. So what is it that this team needs to do at the plate?
Just slowing down, I think, our at-bats and kind of staying one step ahead of the pitching staff, you know. I think they're attacking us with one plan, and we just got to stay one step ahead and really just look at what we're hunting and settle in.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
It's all about the hunt right now. She's right. These hitters have had opportunities to put runs on the board, but they are seemingly not really hunting the right pitch, and Jaquez has been able to keep them off balance.
There is just no easy part of this Duke order for Arizona to try to settle in against. Tyrena Jones leads it off. She reached on an error on Trice. They almost had a double play opportunity with Jones, but Trice dropped it on the trying to be quick to first base. Leadoffs have reached in each of the first 2 innings for the Blue Devils. Jones down 0-2.
Well, an aggressive swinger like Jones is showing to be here is a great place to be for a pitcher, but Jones needs to settle in, being a little bit too aggressive right now in this at-bat.
Just tipped that. Still 1-2 against the freshman Holder. First full inning of work for her in the Arizona circle. Off speed, completely fooled Tyrena Jones. Great pitch from Holder.
Disrupting timing, that's the name of the game, especially this time of year with bats that have gotten some momentum here in this ball game. It's an excuse me swing on a pitch basically by her before she could pull the trigger.
Holder calls time and pointed down to her pitch comm device. Maybe missed the call originally. Layla Lamar grounded out to the pitcher, her only trip to the plate so far. Back that direction again. She is going to reach, though, on a swinging bunt single.
Off the bat with the angle that we had going into this, I thought that was going to be a one-hopper to the pitcher, but topped it so much that it stayed so close to the catcher. Nobody could really defend that one.
One on, one out for KK Mathis. Hard hit to center. Shockey scooped it up, but they'll get the lead runner at second. Nice job by Reagan Shockey picking that like a first baseman.
Yeah, played it perfectly, and those balls straight back up the middle are scary, because if that ball skips on the ground and gets under the glove of Shockey, there's nobody back there to defend her or back her up. That ball was going to go all the way to the wall, be extra bases for both base runners.
Two outs, one on for Shattuck, and she is hit by that first pitch.
You've got to be able to have confidence on that inside part of the plate against big hitters. That one got away from Holder, and Duke with the advantage, a runner in scoring position here in the third.
Tough part is you might not get hurt by this, and even if you're not, it's still just that batter closer to Deanna Jennings again, to Amina Vega again. You don't want to see Kyrie Rodriguez the way she's swinging it. Seems like every time she makes contact, it goes over the fence. The other way, not that one.
That one did go over the fence, just the one behind her. It's all about confidence in the box, being able to attack what is being thrown. And right now, she's a bad ball hitter. That one way high, out of the zone. Huge home run, but 3 home runs so far.
Waited on that pitch, but it is the first clean inning for Arizona defensively. Can they find some energy, some momentum with the bats after 3 innings? Don't miss a minute of the action from the NCAA softball regionals. It's all coming down to tonight. We'll take you to the best live action on 7 Innings Live on the ESPN app. Get every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series only on the ESPN networks. Who's coming out of Durham? Duke had their backs against the wall in game 1 today. It was a game that saw 6 lead changes, but here they are, 4 innings away from going to their 4th ever Super Regional.
And if Duke is able to bounce Arizona out of regionals, I think they're going to look back at that game earlier today and realize that that game was trying to be gifted to them by Duke. Could not capitalize at the point in the game right at the end. Duke held on, forced this game, and they've been in control from the beginning.
LSU is closing in on becoming the next team to punch their ticket to Supers. That would lead to a matchup with Alabama next weekend in Tuscaloosa. That's a rivalry you're going to want to see. You see these, and LSU will be the next one, barring a crazy Texas Tech-esque comeback from Virginia Tech. Leadoff single for Grace Jenkins here in the 4th. We were talking, Jenny, in the break. Arizona needs somebody to step up and get this team going.
And it's not about getting hits. It's about finding what it is that the dugout needs to find some energy. It has been flat in the third base dugout. And I'm looking for a senior. Who is it that becomes the rally leader in this moment? Very quiet in that dugout. This is an Arizona ball club that needs to rally together, not just have the pom-poms going, but find a way to find the energy to get what's going on the field back in their favor.
Telle Jennings at the plate. Molly Daly is going to run over at first base. She scored in game 1 today. Down and away. Kyrie Rodriguez has been excellent behind the plate. With runners on, she has kept the ball in front in a couple really tough situations. We've talked a lot about her, but she deserves it.
Definitely does. She had give way to the freshman that was starting over her, Gabby Shattuck, early in this, or here at the end of the season. That one's pretty indefensible. So that is not up to Rodriguez to keep in front. That's up to Jaquez to make sure she throws a little bit more competitively back there behind the plate. But more than anything, just Kyrie Rodriguez has stepped up when her name's been called and put up some really big swings and done a really good job back there defensively behind the plate.
3-0 count. Telle Jennings trying to walk in back-to-back plate appearances. She was 0 for 4 earlier today. Jenna Sniffen on deck. Telle in the 6 hole for Arizona. After her, 7, 8, 9, all 0 for 1 in this game. Need the bottom of the order to get it going after Jennings. Strike 1 in the 3-0 count.
Telle Jennings only has 3 home runs on the year, but one of them came against Duke in their first matchup here in regionals.
Stays in it with that foul ball to make it a full count. Jaquez hasn't given up an extra base hit in 10 innings of work this weekend. It is ball 4. Second walk today for Telle Jennings, and Arizona has their first big opportunity in the game here in the 4th.
There has not been movement in the bullpen for Duke. They are riding the arm of Jaquez at the moment. This is the time that Arizona needs to wake up, but Duke needs to find a way to stifle what's coming at him offensively.
Jenna Sniffen showing bunt, lays it down the first base side, and she is tagged in the line by Baker. That ball looked like it almost came out of the glove.
It's exactly what I was looking at, Chucky, because that tag is the right play to make, but you have to hold on with both hands. One hand came off of the glove, but able to keep the ball in the web. Is an out. Good job by Jada Baker to make that play.
2 in scoring position for Arizona. Kiki Escobar at the plate, and Duke wants to talk things over. Arizona's situational is not how they want them to be today. Just 1 for 4 in the leadoff spot in this game. That was this inning with Grace Jenkins single. They've not been good with runners on. Have not had a lot of opportunity with runners in scoring position.
I just think it's about execution at the plate, not swinging outside the zone. We've seen some chases. We've seen some uncompetitive at-bats at times. But when you've got a runner in scoring position this time of the year, you're never guaranteed another opportunity with a runner at second and third. So at this point in the lineup, Kiki Escobar needs to capitalize here as we sit about halfway through this ballgame.
Escobar has started the last 2 for Arizona. He's a sub in one of the first 2 games this weekend. Takes ball 1 outside. Ground ball right side. Vega coming home. The tag is there. And Arizona still has not scored.
When I think more than anything, as a defense, you play this shallow, hoping that the hitter on the left side is going to just put this ball in play. It was a ball angle read by the runner at third base, so a nice play by Vega to come home quickly and give time for Rodriguez to make a really easy tag.
First and third now. Arizona is going to go to their most reliable pinch hitter, a sophomore from Barrington, Illinois. Emma Kavanaugh's had some great at-bats this weekend. We saw her in her last 2 pinch hit appearances walk in both of those. She's got power, 6 home runs on the year, trying to use it there, but Jaquez gets her with the 53-mile-per-hour off speed.
Beautiful spot outside, but by pulling the string, gets an early swing from Kavanaugh, trying to get this run across, sits at third base.
1-1. Two-one count for Larissa Jaquez, who is an out away from 4 scoreless innings against Arizona.
On Chucky, I wonder, in this situation, do you pitch around the big hitter to get to the top of the lineup where you don't see a lot of power by Reagan Shockey? That seems to be what they're doing, keeping the ball away from Emma Kavanaugh in this situation. Because when they flip the lineup over back to the top, you've got 2 hitters that don't have a ton of pop.
They do have 3 hits combined today, though. 3-1, fouled back by Kavanaugh. Full count with 2 outs.
Well, and I would argue to that those hits have come with really nobody on. And so in that situation, they're the only one that has to be gotten out. And so the defense has been able to play them a little bit differently.
And on the infield, to your point. Three-two count for Kavanaugh. Reagan Shockey on deck. Off speed is fouled off.
Have to stay in your legs when you've got to count with 2 strikes. You cannot swing too big. You need to make sure you have a really good 2-strike approach that stays in your legs. You don't get out on that front side to get fooled by the changeup.
Ground ball, foul.
As a hitter in this situation, you know you've seen velocity, you know you've seen the changeup, so you have to make sure that you are ready to hit the speed of Jaquez, but then also ready to react to anything slower.
There's the off speed into left field, base hit. Arizona cracks the scoreboard with their first here in the 4th.
And that's why you bring Kavanaugh in that moment, knowing that she is able to come off the bench and be productive. That's a tough pitch to go up and get, especially on the outside, to pull it to left. Nice little base knock, gets Arizona on the board.
How tough is that pinch hitter role? I know that's not something you did a ton, but I mean, that is just a gutsy thing to have to do, as Addison Duke will run over at first.
You've got to keep your nose in the ball game the entire time to not just feel the heartbeat of the game, but also know what is being thrown from the circle, because you don't have a huge body of work to be able to go off of. You're coming fresh off the bench to execute.
Shockey lays down the bunt. Rodriguez olays it.
Wisely. There was no way they were going to get Shockey over at first base, and it was going to be hard to get anybody else on the base paths. And Shockey is just so good at letting her wheels work. Smart play by the defense.
Can Reagan Shockey keep it going? Amina Vega 20 feet away from her on defense on that right side of the infield.
Well, last time with Vega playing so shallow, Shockey was able to punch it between Jaquez and Vega right there. That split grip gives her a little bit more barrel control, and right now trying to exploit this defense and keep this inning rolling.
It's interesting too, with Vega up, if Shockey were to chop one over there, you're never going to get her on that, but this run from second will likely score. Whereas if she was playing a little further back, it wouldn't in that scenario.
You're right. And so it's up to Layla Lamar in right field to be aggressive moving forward to prevent a run.
Shockey pulls back, strike 2. Vega, is she going to retreat now? I think she will. She's kind of back in more of a normal position between first and second. 2-2 pitch. Shockey slapped to left field, dipping, and it falls. Another run is going to score for Arizona.
And that's a scary throw, though, by Rodriguez out there to second base. I mean, if that ball got past Vega at second base, it was going to roll to the wall. And with the kind of speed that just got on with that bloop single out to left, the potential was there to score 2 more. I mean, this is what makes Shockey so hard to defend. She's able to just place that ball in the grass. Impossible to defend. But Vega Athletic prevents any more scoring.
Serenity Trice takes ball 1. Can she keep it going? With Sydney Stewart on deck, this is the part of the Arizona order that could change the game. Already 2 in the frame. Trice into right, Lamar fighting the sun and making the catch for out number 3. The Wildcats on the board, but Duke still in front as we go to the bottom of the 4th. They lead it by 1. Bottom of the 4th inning, Blue Devils come to the plate. Duke leading Arizona 3-2. We're joined by their head coach, Marissa Young. Coach, I have to ask you about your catcher, Kyrie Rodriguez, who kind of became into a reserve role these last couple weeks of the season. Here she is these last few games behind the dish and really playing some of her best softball.
Yeah, I really give Kyrie a lot of credit. You know, she did go into a different role than probably what she wanted, but she continued to work and be ready for these moments. And she's done a great job keeping, you know, the run game at bay here with Arizona, and then literally being on fire at the plate. So I'm really proud of her.
Yeah, fire is right. And another one that I'm really impressed by is Larissa Jaquez. Finished the last game so well, and then she gets the start here today. What did you see out of her?
She wanted the ball, and she's got that fire in her eye and wants to do it for her team today. So we're just going to keep riding her until we don't.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Smiles out of Marissa Young. I think we've turned the corner. I think she might like us.
It's a dangerous team when their coach is smiling and dancing in the dugout, which we saw against Marshall last night.
Definitely feeling good with the way that this team has been showing up here in the postseason. After a tough game, a run rule loss against Arizona, in their second game in regionals, they've been able to put up a ton of runs.
We've talked a lot about the players setting the emotions aside as seniors thinking this might be the end. It is the end at this stadium regardless of result. But same goes for their head coach, Marissa Young, who has been able to look at the lineup card and pencil Cassidy Curd in for a start or two a weekend over the last 4 years. She's been able to look at the lineup card, and her top 5 in the order that features 3 seniors has basically been unchanged for months. Hard hit ball, Beal scoops it up. She has been automatic at shortstop, 1 out.
She has taken defense so seriously during her career at Arizona, actually choosing to played defense more than get into the cages, but this senior season, she knew that it was going to be up to her to be able to swing a more potent stick. So has stepped into the cages, do a little bit more, but her defense still on point.
11 hits for Deanna Jennings in this regional. That's a Duke program record. Will very likely get at least 2 more opportunities at the plate as Holder goes up and in. Backs her off a little bit.
I think that's maybe where baseball and softball are different. I don't know that a pitcher in softball brushes a hitter back. I think that was a pitch that actually just got away from Holder.
I bet you ruffled enough feathers that Lisa Fernandez brushed you back a couple times.
I will say I was brushed back more playing baseball than I was playing softball. Played for Phil Necro in the Colorado Silver Bullets, and I got hit more than once intentionally.
You were probably talking trash.
Yeah, you know me. No, I just think it's a very different part of our games. In softball, you do try to use the river to your advantage. But as a hitter, you don't have to make an attempt to get out of the way of that pitch. So it's a lot easier to take first base with a hit by pitch in our game.
Jennings fouls it back. Riley Holder with a 2-2 count. Last inning, struck out the leadoff batter. Gave up a couple free passes and a walk, or a single, I should say. Ball outside, full count.
You do not want to put Jennings on with a free pass here. That just opens the door for creating a defensive shift to have to defend her with her speed.
Hard hit ball, Beal just under her glove. How do you pitch Deanna Jennings right now? She has a dozen hits in 4 games this weekend.
Perfect 3 for 3 here today, and they were trying to play her up the middle. The second baseman, Serenity Trice, was playing right next to second base. And underneath the dive of Beal, a little frustrated knowing it was just too sharply hit to come away with it.
It's the 5th game this weekend, I should say, but still only halfway through this, so she has time to add to that 12-hit total. 12 for 17 in the 5 games. Arizona would have loved for that to have been a fair ball to retire Vega on 1 pitch. Amina reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st. She was the first to face Holder in the 2nd and delivered a sacrifice fly. 1-1.
To be able to put a freshman in this situation just will pay dividends for Arizona, knowing that down the stretch, this is going to be the arm that they rely on as they see graduation of Jalen Adams this year.
Foul tip by Vega, 1-2 count. This is where Arizona has to capitalize. These types of counts, 0-2, 1-2.
And we've seen plate discipline by this top of the lineup that continues to expand counts, be very controlled on the strike zone, not chasing out of the zone.
Vega fouls it off. Only 11 strikeouts on the season for Amina Vega. It just doesn't happen.
But playing right up the middle, the shortstop Beal is expecting this ball to be close to second base.
Vega in the air, carrying to left center. Shockey back! Oh, baby! Reagan Shockey, but she's hurt, and she didn't catch it. It's a home run. It looked like Shockey had it, but it is a home run for Amina Vega, and Shockey is injured.
Big home run by Amina Vega. I thought Shockey brought that one back. A hard hit off of the wall. We've seen her get abused in these 2 games today. Hopefully just got the wind knocked out of her as she hit the wall so hard. I mean, ball down and in, and she keeps her hands inside of it, driving it deep. The retreat by Shockey, perfect. She thought she had it too. She was looking for the ball in her glove, but then the impact of hitting the wall allows it to trickle out just out of her fingers. Timed that perfectly. But a very scary impact off the wall. And when you know the way that her head coach played center field, Shockey plays it very similarly. Her head coach, Caitlin Lowe, actually ran so hard into the wall, broke her nose when she was a player at Arizona.
Shockey just could not keep the glove squeeze. Her hand almost came out of her glove. She impacted the wall so hard.
I mean, but the timing of this, absolute perfection. But with how hard she hits the wall, could not hold on.
All the way to the knuckles, her hand almost came out of that glove, and now the concern is all with Reagan Shockey, and it was a muted celebration for Amina Vega and Duke, just understanding the situation. Reagan Shockey, who is fighting through, kind of banging up her shoulder in game 1. You know how much she loves wearing the Arizona jersey, what this team has meant to her. She's been a tremendous leader for the Wildcats, even as a junior.
She just hit that wall so hard that her whole entire body rammed right into the wall. Looks like her face was impacted as well, hoping that everything is okay with her. But as of right now, it looks like she's going to depart the game.
Would have been one of the best catches you have ever seen from Reagan Shockey. She will come out. We have not seen who will come in for her yet. You wonder if maybe Addison Duke slides over to center field. And it looks like Kez Lucas is readying in the Arizona dugout. That home run for Amina Vega was the tying home run for the career record that Anna Gold holds here at Duke.
And the entire Arizona defense comes together to make sure that they are ready to attack that home run, putting 2 more runs up on the board, now falling to another 3-run deficit.
Kez Lucas will take over at first. Addison Duke will go to center, and Kiki Escobar will go out to left field.
For the Wildcats, now in center field, number 55, Kez Lucas. Correction at first base, number 55, Kez Lucas.
They're just getting the changes sorted with the home plate umpire, Scott Mayer. Still just the bottom of the 4th inning. There's plenty of time for Arizona, but you just lost one of your leaders on the field. We'll keep an eye on Reagan Shockey.
Well, luckily for Arizona, Reagan Shockey will not come back up to the plate for quite a while, so it will give her a chance to maybe recover from that and see if she can make it back into this ball game. But hoping everything's okay with the center fielder for Arizona.
If she doesn't return, she will be a centerpiece of the 2027 Arizona roster. We are back to action. 1 out, bottom of the 4th, and nobody on after the 2-run home run for Amina Vega that ties the Duke career record as Jess Oakland takes strike 1.
While we all hope Reagan Shockey is okay, I feel bad that we didn't get to celebrate that big home run by Amina Vega. Big record-setting shot for the second baseman for Duke.
Now Vega needs 1 double and 1 home run to set those career records by herself. Single season on the doubles, I should say, career on the home runs. 0-2 to Oakland. Ground ball, sniffing, popped out of her glove to first, got her.
That's one thing that this Arizona defense does is even if a ball is bobbled, they don't give up on the play, and they are delivering some really high velo throws across the diamond to make these plays. What a recovery by the third baseman Sniffen to still get the out in the moment.
Kez Lucas is 5'9", Kiki Escobar's 5'8". That might have made the difference there with Escobar now in left field. Hard hit, it was on the line, fair ball. Tyrena Jones headed for second with a 2-out double.
Well, she's swinging early in this at bat, knowing that in her last AB, she got struck out by the changeup. So that ball just finding enough of that chalk line to be called a fair ball. Nice little double for Tyrena Jones.
Antonio Flores showing off the vertical over at third base, our umpire. That was impressive.
Yeah, you don't typically see twinkle toes for the umpires.
Layla Lamar now at the plate with 2 outs. Takes strike 1.
I mean, Chucky, do you think you could have gotten out of the way better than this?
I could have gotten out of the way, but I wouldn't be up still. I'd be on the ground. That was impressive.
Well, with that being a fair ball, that would have impacted the play had that contacted the umpire.
One count for Lamar, who had the swinging bunt single last inning. That got away from Stewart, and Jones is up to third.
There's a loss of concentration back behind the plate. It's been a long day for Sid Stewart back behind the dish, but at the same time, you cannot risk losing your attention back there behind the plate at such an important defensive position.
Change up for strike 2 to Lamar. Full count. Still a lot more softball to be played today. Possible game 7s that could be forced. UCLA, South Carolina doesn't start till 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Courtney Lyle and Danielle Laurie out in LA. To right field, Lamar knew it! Layla Lamar, 251 off the bat.
We've seen some long home runs here today. Well, we've seen 2 in this inning. One got out of here at just maybe 6 inches over the wall. This one, a no-doubter. Big poke by the sophomore who just had 17 at-bats at Florida last year, coming home to play at Duke. 2 more on the board for Duke.
that will force a pitching change for Arizona. We'll see Janae Berry again, who we have seen against the Blue Devils twice earlier today. Gave up 3 earned on 3 hits in 2 1/3. It's really good yesterday in the 1-0 game for Arizona to reach this point. I mentioned a lot of softball going on still. Some of these places haven't even started their first regional final game, let alone possibly had a Game 7, but you can catch it all on 7 Innings Live on the ESPN app. Every game, every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series.
I mean, that's what I'll be watching on my way home tonight to make sure that I understand what we've got coming at us next weekend, Chucky, for Super Regionals.
The biggest shocker of the weekend could be happening right now. Florida State is down to their final out, and they trail UCF by 2 in Game 7 in Tallahassee. Texas Tech up big on Ole Miss right now in Lubbock. Stanford trailing Oklahoma State 2-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Oklahoma well on their way to another super regional appearance, and Nebraska also closing in with a 1-0 lead in the top of the 7th in Game 6 against Grand Canyon.
So Oregon right now the only national seed to have lost at home, but Florida State looks to be the second, potentially going down here today.
Winner of this goes to Fayetteville to take on the Razorbacks, who actually had the winner of the Tucson Regional last year, which turned out to be Ole Miss. And the Rebels went down to Fayetteville and upset Arkansas to reach their first ever Women's College World Series. One count here from Berry to KK Mathis. Reagan Shockey, it's just good to see her not with a trainer right now, looking on. That hits KK Mathis, so she will reach with 2 outs, nobody on. And actually, they're going to bring her back to the plate, I think.
So the ball has to be completely in the batter's box for a hitter to not have to move and be hit by the pitch. That pitch looked like it was in the river, and the river is not owned by the hitter. And with that left elbow leaking out over the plate, I think this is a good call by the home plate umpire, Scott Mayer, to bring her back, because that ball is 100% not in the batter's box.
Challenging the location of the pitch. The call on the field is that the batter was hit with her elbow outside the batter's box. The call is under further review.
So we'll take a look. By your estimation, it should be KK Mathis back in the box. Also, speaking of hosts that haven't advanced, Texas A&M is out. Arizona State beat them in College Station.
2 years in a row that Texas A&M loses in the regional round. Last year they were the #1 seed and did not advance, lost to Liberty if I remember right. I think this call is going to stand on the field with KK Mathis left elbow hanging outside of the box and over the plane of the plate. I think Scott Mayer got this call correct on the field, and I think that's what they'll see in review.
Marissa Young and one of her assistant coaches and former player Jayla Wright awaiting the call.
I don't know that I've ever seen Marissa Young smile more in the dugout than I have in the last couple of days.
After further review, the call field is confirmed. It is a dead ball. The count is now 2-1, and Duke has no challenges left.
So Duke, for basically a full inning in the 5th, doesn't really have any protection if something goes wrong with a call on the field. They're out of challenges. The umpires can't initiate one in most circumstances until the 6th inning. There's some special spots where they could, but on the general challenges we see, they will not be able to do anything. Mathis, long foul ball. And Florida State has been eliminated in Tallahassee. That is very hard to believe how it happened.
Well, just the way that they were able to finish their season, getting another ACC championship, regular season and tournament championship, to be knocked out in the first round. A little surprising.
Two-two count to KK Mathis. In the air, shallow left. Escobar. The ball hit to her a couple times since going out to left field from first base. Duke plates 4 in the 4th inning. The long ball, Jenny, again.
It is Amina Vega, 2-run shot. Barely clearing the wall. And then Layla Lamar, the no-doubter. Duke on top, 7-2.
Top of the 5th, 3 innings to go. Arizona staring down the end of their season if they can't get it going. And a new pitcher for Duke enters the game, Mallory Wheeler, the sophomore from Jensen Beach, Florida. 3 2/3 in the opening game of this regional. Their win against Howard, just 1 run allowed. Trying to pick up where Larissa Jaquez left off. It is ball 1 to Sydney Stewart. Two and 0.
Obviously keeping the ball away from Stewart. That's been what a lot of teams have done here in this regional. Trying to get her to swing off the plate.
Stewart saw one she liked, just on top of it.
Well, Stewart obviously likes the inside pitch. That's why most pitchers like to stay away from her, get it out of her power zone. But as the season has gone on, she's gotten better at being able to spray her power all over the field.
Sydney is just 2 for 11 this weekend. Her average for the year has dropped a little bit below 400 at 396. Hard hit ground ball. Vega eaten up by it for a minute, but regathers herself. 1 out.
And we're seeing on both sides not a lot of panic when a ball doesn't get fielded cleanly, but coming away with really good throws after the bobble is important defensively. And Amina Vega, I don't think her heart rate ever elevates because she does such a good job of being able to respond after a miscue.
Taylor Beal swinging at the first pitch. Fouls it away out of play. Those are long days for the staff here at Smith Family Stadium, too. I think everyone we've talked to has been extremely kind. This is it, Game 7 in Durham, North Carolina. This is in foul territory. Long run for Lamar, who also goes up against the wall. Can't quite come down with it.
We've seen the evolution of Layla Lamar's outfield play this year. She came to Duke and has played infield most of her life. But by coming here to Duke, she knew that the way to break into the lineup was to be able to play the outfield slot. So has solidified that position out there in right field.
Caitlin Lowe said it, I think, heading into the 4th inning, that she felt like their at-bats were getting better. I think that's pretty accurate. Did not have a good start in this game, but a couple hard hit balls hit right to people, including that line shot back in the 3rd at Vega. Wheeler can't get the call on that pitch.
Well, you don't want to give a good pitch in an 0-2 count. This ball is low, but we've seen the bottom of the zone get called for strikes, but that one doesn't ring her up.
Big swing by Beal, and that is off the base of the wall and sits down, which helps her easily cruise into second with a 1-out double.
I think Lamar was expecting that one to ricochet off the wall and back to her, so she stayed a little bit off the wall to be able to play that with momentum and get the throw to second base. Hard hit ball left healthy over the plate, and hard running out of the box. Beal takes advantage of a ball that does kind of sit and rest on the warning track. Lamar has to track it down.
11th double of the season for Taylor Beal. Jenkins swings first pitch, foul ball down the left field line.
There's still a lot of ground for Arizona to make up. They sit in a 5-run deficit, but the mentality right now needs to be just pass the bat. We've not seen a lot of home runs out of these bats this year. Just 68 home runs coming into today. That's uncharacteristic for most Arizona ball clubs. They are the ones that usually love to leave the yard. The ball flies well in Tucson, but they have not hit many home runs as a team this year.
They hit 82 last year, but when you lose Devin Netz and Miranda Stoddard, who combined for 34 of them, that number likely was going to fall. Hard hit into the outfield. That gets down. Beal is held at second, or excuse me, at third. Still just 1 out, first and third.
I mean, it's a hard hit ball, and Beal did a full 360. It looked like out there on the base pass as she tracked that ball into the outfield. I mean, reading it, the full 360, doesn't have a chance to turn and score. I don't know that she would have had she played that in a straight line, but keeping your eyes on the ball definitely helps you as a base runner to know how to advance.
Swing and a miss by Telle Jennings, who has walked and scored a run in this game. Walked twice and scored once. You said it, long way back for Arizona. Got to take advantage of this opportunity here with just one out.
We've just seen so many times Arizona having opportunities to put the ball in play with runners on and runners in scoring position. They have not been able to do so against this Duke battery.
Back to Wheeler. Beal came halfway down the third base line but retreats, and now it's second and third with 2 outs.
When Beal was just trying to get her to look her way. I thought for sure Wheeler was going to go to third to get her out, but in a 5-run lead, the out at first base is a really good play for Wheeler.
Ball 1 to Jenna Sniffen. This is a big moment for the Wildcats. The clock is ticking on Arizona's hopes of what would be considered an upset on the road in Durham. Chopper left side. Jones picks it up in fair territory. The foot comes off the bag, and Arizona gets one back.
And in that situation, it was going to be a tight play over at first base. I'm wondering why Tyrena Jones picked it up. I think that ball was going to go foul had she let that go one more bounce. And look at the way that this ball's coming at Jones. She picked it up in fair territory, and Scott Mayer, the home plate umpire, moved over in position to be able to see that in real time. The throw pulls off Baker. Because of that, the foot off the bag as Baker receives the throw.
Even if it wasn't, they don't have a challenge to look at it. Strike 1 to Kiki Escobar. Still first and third, 2 outs. One. Kyrie Rodriguez wants to talk to Mallory Wheeler. Live with this if you're Duke. 1 run.
I don't think it's she needing to talk to her. I think she has something in her eye and needs some help to get it out.
Tyrena Jones coming up clutch with the assist.
Well, and in this situation, no challenges left, and that foot just off the bag as the throw is secured. Good looks by our camera crews. Pulls that heel.
1-1 count to Kiki Escobar. Slapped into left field. Back-to-back 2-run innings for Arizona.
Not giving up, even with a 5-run deficit, knowing there's a ton of ground to still make up. These hitters not trying to do too much, but put the ball in play and let their wheels work.
Remember, the batter there that normally Grace Jenkins would be talking to is Reagan Shockey, but Shockey is out of the game. So the freshman Kez Lucas is on deck. It is Addison Duke at the plate for Arizona. You saw just a second ago Cassidy Curd moving around in the Duke dugout. It very well could be the senior that has to come in and close this out. Ground ball right side. Vega keeps her focus and makes the play. Arizona still has a pulse in this one. Down 3, 2.5 to play. Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City. The action begins Thursday, May 28th at 12 Eastern, live on ESPN. For more info, visit ncaa.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Alongside a three-time national champ, Jenny Dalton-Hill, I'm Chucky Kempf. Wrapping things up in Durham, Chad Lampman, our producer, Blake Woodard, our director, Will Black in graphics, Vince Rue up here in the booth with us on stats, and a great crew in Durham has made this a very fun weekend of softball. Has had the play on the field as Sniffen stabs it at third. It's a quick out for Janae Berry in the circle.
That's what they need to be able to do to stay in this ball game. Cannot allow those sharp hit balls get to the grass. Good defense has kept Arizona in this one.
Kyrie Rodriguez out to Taylor Beal. Two quick outs for Janae Berry. This is exactly what Arizona needs. We had just talked in the break. I said Arizona hasn't faced less than 5 batters in an inning.
And because of that, they've seen a lot of numbers going up on the board. It was a big 4-run fourth for Duke. Are they going to be able to just go 1, 2, 3 here before flipping it back over to the top of the lineup? That's where the disconnect has been for Arizona today. They've been allowing the bottom of the lineup to flip things over. And Jennings, Vega, Oakland, Jones have been able to create havoc.
One count to Jada Baker. Trying to break up this possible 1, 2, 3 inning for Janae Berry, who's gone 6 2/3, just 3 hits, 3 earned this weekend in regionals. There is the changeup on the inside corner.
Little change piece. That's the pitch that I think is underrated for a lot of high school freshmen, high school seniors coming into college. They want to throw with velocity, but if you don't have that changeup, your longevity in the circle is limited.
Into left field, Escobar casually makes the catch. First 1, 2, 3 inning of the game for either team. Arizona trying to keep the bats hot in the 6th. 7-4. Duke over Arizona with 2 innings to go as Mallory Wheeler delivers strike 1 to the leadoff hitter that is in the leadoff spot, but it is not Reagan Shockey, who exited this game after an injury crashing into the wall. Kez Lucas trying to keep the hot Arizona bats rolling. 4 runs in the last 2 innings. 6 of their 8 hits have come in the last 2 innings. Have you noticed a change in approach, or is it just coincidence?
I think it's just making sure that they are not swinging outside of the zone. They're doing a better job of being disciplined. But more than anything, when you have an outside pitch, you've got to go with it. I'm seeing swings that are not necessarily swinging to that spot. So when you get outside, let it travel, drive it the other way. When you get inside, go ahead and turn on it. But there, it looked to be an outside pitch again, and Arizona ahead of that. But it is Kez Lucas's first at bat here today.
They went with Kiki Escobar at first in the last couple games, so Kez Lucas trying for her first hit of the weekend. 0 for 5 in the first 2 games. Swings through it, strike 3.
Down and away is where you know that Mallory Wheeler loves to go. Drop ball to the corners is her bread and butter, and so with that, you've got to be ready to attack down in the zone. But in this at bat, she was staying on the outside corner. That one's not a strike.
It's got to be a weird visual for Serenity Trice, who has just watched Reagan Shockey torment defenses all year long, but instead steps up as the first speedster in this inning. Jumps ahead 2-0. Strike 1 on the 3-0. Serenity Trice freezes and grabs the bat. Caitlin Lowe walks down out of her coach's box and voices her displeasure with that strike call.
That ball really low, but we've seen a pretty wide zone for Scott Mayer here today.
Trice swings through that pitch, strike 2. Arizona down to their final 5 outs. 3-2 pitch from Wheeler. Trice ground ball, just foul. It would have actually worked out for the Wildcats if it weren't.
Now your job as a corner defender on the infield is to just defend the line, and so anything in foul territory don't necessarily have to be accountable for.
In the air to left, and it's caught by Terrell. 2 outs here in the 6th.
Well, and recognizing the lines is exactly where Trice is trying to punch this ball over there in left field, playing tight on the line. Nicely easy out, but made easy because of her positioning.
Sydney Stewart, the last chance here in the 6th inning. Hitless today, 0 for 3. This could be her final at-bat of her college career. In the air to shallow left center, Terrell over and makes the catch. Matching 1-2-3 innings for the first time all day. Duke up 3 with a chance to extend their lead. Duke hoping this is the last time they come to the plate in Smith Family Stadium this year. Deanna Jennings and Amina Vega, it'll be the last time of their careers. 4 for 6, a double and a home run combined today. They have 17 total hits in 5 games played this weekend, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. They have over 600 combined career hits. But this is it for Deanna Jennings and Amina Vega at Smith Family Stadium.
I think it's the most impactful 1-2 punch that we've seen in the country this year.
Regardless of what happens in this game and potentially next weekend for Duke, this team will go down as the best offense in program history. They have set numerous single-season records, both individually and as a group. Home runs, doubles, average will likely be a part of that. .3-0 to Jennings. Ball 4.
Definitely not the way you need to start that inning when you've got the kind of firepower coming behind Jennings. She loves to use her wheels to impact the defense, and you can anticipate that she is going to be running around.
Well, could Amina Vega break Anna Gold's career home runs record in her final at-bat at Smith Family Stadium in front of Anna Gold herself?
And no longer with ice on her head, must be cooling off as the sun is going down.
Big cut at that first pitch. She could also break the single-season doubles record if she got one here, too.
Well, tied it back in the 4th inning. It was a 2-run shot that just barely got out. It looked like it was robbed by Reagan Shockey.
(1-1) to Vega. Cassidy Curd had a great note about these two in Deanna Jennings and Amina Vega. She said Jennings is all energy. She's the spark plug. When I need to get hyped up, when I need to turn up, I go to Jennings. Said Amina is the calm, consistent force. She's super steady. So when I need to feel a little grounded, I go to Amina Vega.
I think every time we talk about Amina Vega, Chucky, you mentioned that she looks like the CEO of this ball club, just always calm, cool, and collected.
(2-2) ripped into right. This could be the record. Vega is headed to second, and she's got a new single-season doubles record, and Jennings will score on the play. She hadn't hit one since April 17th when she had 2. And a month to the day later, she breaks the single-season doubles record.
Well, and when they talked to her about where she sat in the record books, it was actually from that moment on, she did not hit another double. And with the right fielder playing in the right center gap, it gives a chance for the ball to go all the way to the wall. Anna Gold pretty excited that her Dukies are doing a really good job.
Janae Berry will depart. Nobody out, a runner on second, and the starter Jalen Adams will come back into this game for what could be her final appearance of her college career.
I mean, Deanna Jennings, if you want personality, you just got to watch one spot. She knew off the bat that it was going to be a 2-bagger, but there was no hesitation going around until she thought there was a stop sign. trying to do what her third base coach Taylor Wyke was telling her. That little hiccup just a second long as she was able to then continue to go around and put another run on the board for Duke.
Jess Oakland will be the first Duke batter to face Jalen Adams, who started the game with 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 earned. One of them was a home run that she allowed. And this will, barring an Arizona comeback, be it for the career of Jalen Adams, who had 3 years at Iowa and finishes in Tucson. She played for her mom, Andy, at Fort Dodge High School in Iowa, where she is still the head coach. They won a state championship together. This is someone who made All-State as an 8th grader in the state of Iowa.
Only unique thing about high school softball in Iowa is it's actually played in the summer, and so a lot of those ball players don't get a chance to play travel ball because they're playing their high school season in the middle of the summer.
Her mom played at Buena Vista, a D3 school in Iowa in the mid to late 90s, 95 to 98, almost matched up with your years at Arizona. She was a 2-time All-American. She's in the Hall of Fame at that school.
And I love that she's still in the game coaching future ballers.
Foul ball, 1-2 count. Dips below the strike zone, 2-2. This is Deanna Jennings and Amina Vega in this regional. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, those are the kinds of numbers you expect to see from a team.
Oh, sniffing. And another double play for Arizona. Familiar sight for Jalen Adams in the circle. There's 2 outs.
Eliminating the threat over there at second base. Hard shot right at Sniffen. Impressed with the way this player is able to defend the hot corner. She's had a lot of hard hit balls right at her. That was a pretty easy play. I think that's a tougher play over there at second for Serenity Trice, trying to get that ball out of the sun as it starts to set over the third baseline.
This is also the final at bat for Tyrena Jones in this stadium. Although she has only spent 1 year of her career here, she will go down as the all-time single-season home run and RBI queen. We'll try to add to it right here, as a matter of fact. Deep to left field, 1 more for Tyrena. Right on cue.
You set her up perfectly, Chucky. Another home run for Tyrena Jones. Number 23 on the year. This is a Duke ball club that has loved to hit the long ball. And when you leave a pitch up at the knees, Tyrena Jones just punishes it. No chance to bring it back, and a little souvenir.
Take a little extra cushion. 9-4 makes that Arizona climb even tougher now. 80 RBIs now this year for Tyrena Jones.
I mean, the way I'm reading my stats, it does look like chicken scratch, but I see 6 extra base hits in this ball club, 4 home runs, 2 doubles. The bats for Duke have been able to be just so dynamic from top to bottom in this lineup.
Only 1 strikeout in this game as well. It's not something that they've done this weekend either. But it just goes to show how difficult they've made it on the Arizona pitchers. Even in game 1, when Duke got run ruled, a lot of great defense from Arizona.
Well, defense has been on display. We've got really good defenses in both of these ball clubs. It was the errors that were a little bit uncharacteristic in the losses, in the loss for Duke against Arizona the first time these two teams saw each other in this regional.
Back up the middle, Layla Lamar will take another base hit, her 3rd hit of the day.
And it was the success of Layla Lamar that said it relaxed Marissa Young, the head coach, her mom. She saw herself getting a little bit tight at the beginning of the year, trying to find a way to get her the best offense and defense on the field. And with Layla Lamar swinging it really well, she knew that there was no way she could keep her out of the lineup.
Layla Lamar, the 5th in the top 5 of the order that has just been automatic. Tyrena Jones in that cleanup spot. We just saw the solo home run to add to her record-breaking season. Now 23 home runs, 80 RBIs for Tyrena Jones.
Yeah, 1 season to be able to play here at Duke and is leaving her mark on the record books. Wasn't it Tyrena Jones eating a sandwich in the dugout last night that she recognized that we had her on camera? Played it up a little bit.
KK Mathis, first pitch swinging, foul ball. Ball 1 low. It's a Duke program that played their first season in 2018. By the 3rd full year, which was 2021, they were ACC champions and made their first regional appearance. Now this is number 6 in a row at regionals. A win here would send them to their 4th ever super regional appearance for a shot at their 2nd trip to OKC. Ground ball up the middle. Trice was playing it there and steps on the bag. Arizona needs a massive 7th inning. Down 5 runs. Do the Wildcats have one last go in them? 3 outs to work with.
Capital One rewarding performance in this ball game. It's been a big one for Amina Vega. She tied the career home run record on that one that left the yard. That record she beat was Anna Gold, and then set the single season doubles record with that one that got to the wall. A big career day for Amina Vega in what looks to be her last day playing in this ballpark.
This is Duke's offense in this regional, despite only having 2 hits in the first game against Arizona, as Taylor Beal, the Arizona senior, grounds out in what could be her final career at bat. Just hard to compete with a team like this. The pitching has gotten it done as a staff, certainly in this game today. And you don't need much when you can swing it like that.
No, the offense has been ridiculous. The amount of balls leaving the yard.
Arizona down to their final 2 outs. This is Grace Jenkins. Ground ball to Vega, who handles it. There's 2 outs.
Highlight Vega offensively, and then she's doing it all this inning defensively. Duke 1 out away from advancing. 2 super regionals. Arizona has only lost 4 regionals of 37.
And the last 3 bats that came to the plate for Arizona, all seniors. Sydney Stewart, Taylor Beal, Grace Jenkins. Massive shoes to fill next year for Caitlin Lowe and the Wildcats. Telle Jennings is the last chance. Two 2-1 count. Duke did not take the easy route here in Durham. They won their first game, but lost game 1 yesterday to the Wildcats. Bounced back last night with a dominant performance and win over Marshall. Now this record-breaking senior class is a strike away from Super Regionals. Ground ball right side. Duke is headed to Supers for the 4th time in program history.
Smiles all around for Duke as they advance to their 4th Super Regional. Congratulations to the Blue Devils as they will take on Arkansas in the next round in the postseason.
Some tremendous careers for the Arizona seniors come to a close, but elation for these Duke Blue Devils players as they finish with a win in their home stadium, a feeling they were not able to have a year ago when they lost to Georgia.
Impressive comeback for Duke after a run rule loss to Arizona in their 2nd game in regionals. Commanding wins to win 3 in a row and keep their season alive.
Marissa Young and the Duke Blue Devils are off to Fayetteville. A date with Arkansas next weekend in Supers. 1 step away from the Women's College World Series. For Jenny Dalton-Hill and our fantastic crew here in Durham, I'm Chucky Kemp. We thank you for joining us all weekend. Still a couple more coming your way tonight.